Now we'll be looking at weaknesses of desire satisfaction theory. A key one is that getting what you want may not be necessary for promoting your good. There are a lot of examples we can come up with where you don't have a desire that's being satisfied and yet you're better off. Our author brings up the example of pleasant surprises. Sometimes you get a benefit that you didn't want, you weren't desiring, and yet you're better off for it. So like a tax windfall where you suddenly have a lot of money that you weren't expecting, weren't desiring, but it makes your life better off. Or a surprise party. A friend surprises you for your birthday. You weren't desiring a party at all, and yet here's a party and you enjoy it and you're better off for it. I could also imagine a case where somebody doesn't want to have a child, but they are, financially, emotionally, ready to raise a child, and they have a good network, good community, etc. And they get accidentally pregnant, have the child, and then it turns out the child makes their life better. Well, that wouldn't be because they satisfied a desire. Actually, their desires were frustrated, and yet their life is better for it. We children often want things and we don't give them to them, and it makes them better off. My child, we really limit his exposure to television, but if he had it his way, he would just watch television all the time. That, of course, is not good for him. So we limit his television and we spend time doing other creative things and working on reading with him and etc. And these other activities that actually he's not desiring to do because he wants to watch TV are making him a better person. They're going to help him in the long run. So we often improve or help someone improve by going against their desires. And then suicide prevention is discussed in our book, but oftentimes people have a genuine, deep felt desire to end their life, and then someone intervenes and frustrate those desires, don't allow them to. And if they get the proper help and support, their lives are better for it afterwards. So that's another example of, your life getting better even while your desires are being frustrated. Are there any other examples that you can think of? As a teacher, I think about my student experience and my students, and I think there's probably students who would really like a very easy class with minimal amounts of work. And then every now and then you get a class, probably pretty often, you get a class that isn't easy and requires quite a bit of work. And it goes against your desires. But sometimes those classes will be the most powerful classes that you have, and you grow the most as a person and as a learner, and you end up appreciating them. So they make your life better even as they go against what you are desiring. So these are all problems for the desire satisfaction theorist, because the desire satisfaction theorist holds that what makes a life better is the satisfaction of desires. Desires based on false beliefs. It's hard to see how these make us better. A clear example would be suppose you want to have a long marriage with your spouse, but you believe that your spouse loves you, but your spouse actually doesn't love you and your spouse is cheating on you. So suppose you do end up having a long marriage with that spouse, never realizing that they're cheating on you. Then your desire has been met, but your desire is based on a false belief. And I think most people would think that your life didn't go so well for you, even though you didn't realize your spouse is cheating on you. By having a long marriage, the one that you desired, your life actually didn't go so well for you. And that would be a problem for the desire satisfaction theorist. Disinterested and other regarding desires. We want things that are totally unrelated to us, and it's hard to see how satisfying these desires makes our lives better. So an example, the helicopter crash with Kobe Bryant and his daughter and many other people. I feel very bad for the loved ones of everyone in that helicopter, including Kobe Bryant's wife, and who lost a husband and a daughter in the crash. So I really want her to get better over time and one day to thrive. But suppose that my desire for her to thrive one day is satisfied. 10 years from now, she is truly thriving. It's hard to see how that makes my life better, which is what the desire satisfaction theorist says. My life is better when my desires are satisfied. Disappointment. Sometimes getting what you want, satisfying your desires, can be a very big letdown. But supposedly, according to the desire satisfaction theorist, when your desires are fulfilled, your life is better. So imagine somebody who spends their life really, really wanting to become a rock star. So they're playing shows, they're writing music, they're doing everything they can, and they achieve it. But once they achieve that kind of fame, they're miserable. They're surrounded by shallow and empty people. They have no friends. They don't enjoy their work anymore. They're playing the same song every night to a crowd that they really don't care about, and they're miserable. It's hard to see how the satisfaction of that desire to be a rock star has made this person's life better. But that's exactly what the desire satisfaction theorist maintains. Okay, our book goes through some other potential weaknesses for the theory, and I think the theory does have quite a few weaknesses, which should motivate us to look again at the objective list theory, thinking that there might be something beyond just the satisfaction of desires that makes a life good.